to ask any questions that you have. So let's get to the real reason we're here today. The purpose of our time together today is to introduce you to our professional development plan, philosophy, and most importantly, the team. And to do that, I'm thrilled to introduce you to Correlation One's professional development team, amazing folks who have helped many, many, many Amazon employees just like yourselves find higher paying, fulfilling jobs that have truly changed their lives for the better. Now, as they chat with you today and moving forward after today as well, I encourage all of you to think back to last week, right? When Ryan asked you to imagine your why. Why are you here today? Why are you going to be here next week? Why do you want to learn about Salesforce and expand your skills? And why are you seeking a professional transition? Because the folks you're going to meet today are the people who can help with that last part. So without further ado, it's my great pleasure to introduce Correlation One's professional development team. We have Rachel Bittarelli, the Director of Career Coaching and Development. We have Megan Trudeau, Career Operations Manager, and Andrew Coles, Career Operations Manager. Take it away, team.
Thank you, Lucia. Thanks for that warm welcome. All right, Andrew's already up with the screen share. That's awesome. Welcome, everyone. It's so nice to chat with you this afternoon. Let's hop in. Let's go. Slide 2. All right, let's start with some introductions. So as Lucia mentioned, my name is Rachel Bittarelli. It's so nice to meet you. I am the Director of Career Coaching and Development here at Correlation One. I have been with C1 for about 1.5 years now, but I have been a career coach and counselor for over 10 years, which feels like a long time. I've helped probably thousands of people make career transitions, and I'm really excited to be here working with you today. I am based on the East Coast of the United States, outside of Boston, if anyone is familiar, and I live here with my very cute corgi, my husband, and my 18-month-old son. And I'll pass it over to Megan to say hi.
Hi, everyone. Megan Trudeau here, Career Operations Manager. I've worked 6 years in career coaching and development, and I'm really excited to be here with C1. I've worked at C1 for almost 1 year too, and it's been amazing to get to work with Amazon Fellows and be a part of this life-changing opportunity for you all. A little bit about me, I'm just south of Rachel. I'm in Rhode Island, the smallest state over here in the US, and I have 2 fur babies, cats named Aspen and Zion. And that's a little bit about me. I'll hand it over to my colleague, Andrew.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. We are thrilled to be here with you all today. I am very similar to my colleagues, as I've had a number of years of career coaching in my experience. Unlike them, though, however, I am in the middle of the United States in the great state of Kansas. I know everyone loves Kansas. I know some eyes are perking up. I know it's a big deal. But I'm very excited to be with you all today. And yeah, I live in Kansas with my partner, and we have 3 fur babies. So yeah, we're excited to talk to you about some career development today.
All right, thanks. So I'm just going to quickly go over our agenda before I pass it over to Andrew to kick us off. So today we're going to talk about the professional development curriculum. So what does that mean? What are we actually going to be talking about with you? How are we going to help support you as you make these career transitions? And what kind of services are available to help you along the way? We're going to introduce the concept and the well, mostly just the concept at this point of our career success coaches, who are really your one-on-one guides as you make that transition. We're going to talk a little bit in more detail about Salesforce auto interviews. I know this was mentioned during your orientation session, but I'm going to go into a little bit more detail there. And then we're going to end our session talking about some of our best tips as you're embarking upon a new task, something that may be a little bit intimidating, something that might be unfamiliar, to talk about imposter syndrome and also program success. And with that, I'll hand it over to Andrew to kick us off.
Perfect. Thank you, Rachel. So yeah, what are we all about? Our team is called the Professional Development Team. So that is what we're going to present to you now and talk about. So what does that really mean? So in this training, yes, we know that certification is that main objective for all of you going into this Salesforce program. However, we also realize that there is a lot bigger picture than just that training. We want you to be successful in all aspects of career development. And so that is what we are here for. We also understand, like it says up there, life is life. Life is busy, right? We know that you are engaged with us for the next 10 weeks. We know that you have a life outside of work. You have family responsibilities. You have work responsibilities. You have your favorite club that you like to go to. You like to go out for dinner on Thursday nights. We get it. We do too. So we want to make sure that we are with you 100% and that realizing we're all human here. So learning your way, this is what we want to do. We want to be practical, timely, relevant, and robust. So like I just said, we know that your schedule will dictate you having your resources and needs met at different times, depending on what's going on in your life. At the same time, we want to make sure that we are introducing resources when you need it, when it's appropriate, when it's relevant. We don't want to distract you from other important things that are involved in the program. But yeah, we want to make sure that you are focused on that certification. The relevancy of our programs, we have done a lot of research. We have dug into what it means to get the certification and how it can be used within different industries and businesses. And so first and foremost, we want to make sure that you all realize that what we're saying, what we've researched, what we're going to be presenting is all very, very relevant to these future careers that you're going to be jumping into. And finally, we want to be robust. I know that John was asking about our intro music, but we want to make sure that we're here for you, we're empowering you, we're being positive. So hopefully those will all be reflected in our videos that we present to you, the slide decks, the templates, the handouts, which you will all have access to indefinitely after the program. So what are we going to learn? You keep talking about this, Andrew. What are we going to learn? So here is a quick little chart that kind of shows you how the professional development team is going to be working with you all. So in the very beginning weeks, so weeks 1 through 7, we really want to support you and be able to, for you to all focus on the training prep itself. And so that's where it will be very heavy with kind of getting the ins and outs of getting that certification. Then on week 8, we're going to be coming right back for you and talking about the Salesforce landscape, finding your fit. So you're going to be getting the certification, but where can I use it? What industries does that make the most sense for me? What industries are even out there? What positions are out there? So that's what we'll cover in week 8. For week 9, we will go in depth about how to include this new experience on your resume, what that might look like. And then week 10, we will be all about the job search tips and tricks, networking, LinkedIn, and also some interview prep for those Salesforce interviews if you pass that certification. So just wanted to give you a landscape of what you can expect from us. You get a taste of us today, and then we'll be right back with you on week 8. Now, Rachel mentioned, and we've been talking about your career success coaches. This is great. This is fantastic. What is it? So for us, it's one of the biggest assets that we have on our professional development team. And as you can see on the slide, it's the most important piece in the professional development puzzle. We like puzzles. So what is a career coach? So first and foremost, they will be able to support you with resumes, mock interviews, that career exploration I mentioned before, LinkedIn, networking, a good self-assessment of what your skills are and how those can be translated onto your professional documents, onto your LinkedIn, etc., and much more. Basically, any career-related questions, your CSCs, your career success coaches are there to help you with that. From a teaching aspect, basically there to provide those best practices around the job search application, the do's and the don'ts, if you will, and what that transition will look like to you. We know that everyone's goals may look different. We know everyone's priorities may look different. So your career success coach will really work with you to help bring those to the surface, but also work with you to help and make sure that those are achieved. And then last but not least, a supporter. Like I said before, we love hype music, we love empowerment. And so we are here to support you all along the way with the kudos, the high fives, the positive reinforcement, like it says there, the entire way through and beyond. And so just again, wanted to remind you that your CSC will come into play starting in week 8, when we come back to talk with all of you. Once you have gone through all of that training towards that certification and you're ready to go. So again, you will meet with the career coach one-on-one. This is your career success coach one-on-one. Don't let that intimidate you. They're all amazing. But again, there to help you in your specific situation. No matter where you're at in the process, maybe you don't even want to start looking for a job until the program's over. Maybe you want to start looking in week 8, whatever your pulse is, wherever you're at, that's where your CSC will meet you. Like it says there, it is not a one-size-fits-all. And the growth mindset, again, with you getting these new skills, you have to start seeing yourself in these different realms, in these different industries, and these different roles. And that career success coach will help you along the way realize the possibilities that will exist with this amazing certification. So as it says on the bottom, step 1, understand your goals. Step 2, create a career goals plan. We like to be strategic. And step 3, work together to achieve your goals. So I know that seems really, really simple, right? Step 1, step 2, step 3, you're good. We know that it's not that easy, but we wanted to lay it out like that. Again, how will the CSC support you? We talked about this, but the resumes, making sure that it's precise and tailored to what you are looking for, and making sure that it's a document that you can be proud of. Remember, a resume or a CV, as you might refer to it over in the UK. It is your representation of yourself to an employer on a piece of paper. I know that can be really intimidating, but that is exactly what the CSCs are here to help you with. A LinkedIn, so that we can start branding yourself as a Salesforce admin professional. So what that looks like, and the interview. So again, you are guaranteed an auto interview when and if you pass the Salesforce certification exam. So our CSCs will be right there with you to make sure that you are prepared, especially for the behavioral parts of that interview. So tell me about a time when, could you explain this process to us, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, we're very excited, and more. That's what those big letters at the very end are, and more. Like we mentioned before, this is not a one-size-fits-all. So any and every career-related question that you have, the CSCs and our team will be there to help you. Here is just some bright colored bubbles about some common questions that our career success coaches get. So how do I know what job is right for me? Where do I look for jobs? Do I qualify for anything? What's the point of LinkedIn? Isn't it just another social media thing? How can I make the most of career coaching? When should I start applying to new jobs? These are all very common questions and probably at the front of your mind for many of you. And so again, this is what the career success coaches are here to help you with, again, in week 8. And that's just another reminder. When do you get them? Week 8. I know it's crazy. It seems so long, but trust me, you will need all your energy to focus on that certification. And then boom, you're right back with us, ready to go for the next part, the next step, if you will. And the big thing is, after the program is done, you will have at least 3 months after the program to have direct access to your career success coaches. So don't worry about getting boggled down and saying, oh my goodness, I have to ask the CSC everything before the program ends because then they're gone. No, that's not the case. You still get them at least 3 months after that program ends. So that's exciting. We like that. All right. I'm going to turn it back over to Rachel, I believe.
Thanks, Andrew. Hi, everyone. I'm going to talk to you next about Salesforce auto interviews. And I know this sounds a little bit too good to be true, but it is not. And I'm going to walk you through a little bit more information about the process. So Salesforce auto interviews are an opportunity that you will have after you pass the certification exam. So that is the most important step 1 in gaining access to this really valuable tool, is to actually spend time focusing and studying enough to pass that certification exam. One thing I'd like to note, and I'll say this a couple more times, is that we know the certification exam is difficult. Even if you're not able to pass the certification exam the first time, or possibly even the second time, that does not mean that you do not have access to career success coaches, to coaching support, or that you won't find an amazing Salesforce job. Things might be a little bit easier if you're able to get through that exam, particularly on the first try. I might speed things up for you, but please know we're here to support you no matter what happens along the way. So auto interviews. Step 1, pass the Salesforce Administrator Certification exam. What happens after that, into step 2, is that you will meet with your CSC. It's really important to go into interviews prepared. After you pass that certification exam, that's amazing. That means you have all of the technical skills you need to move into that next role. But we want to make sure that you have all of the behavioral and transferable skills you need as well. So what does that mean? After you pass that certification exam, we'll work with your CSC to make sure that your CV is up to date, is ready to go, and is employer ready, that your LinkedIn is in the same state. So this is a very common thing for employers to ask in a first interview or when they're first meeting with you, is send me a link to your LinkedIn so I can see more about your background. It's really important that all of your experience is there, that your personal brand is being represented on your LinkedIn page, and that it looks full and robust. Your CSC will help you with that. And finally, we'll ask you to do a mock interview with your CSC before you actually go into a Salesforce auto interview. Interviews are intimidating. I don't care if you've been interviewing your entire life, if you are, this is your 10th, 15th, 20th job you've gone into. Interviews are intimidating. They're intimidating for me. I've been a career coach for 112 years. It's hard, right? There's a lot of pressure. The stakes feel high. We want to make sure that you're really prepared before you go in front of an employer. So step 2 is to meet with your CSC to make sure that your CV is ready, your LinkedIn is ready, and you've conducted a mock interview. Then we go to step 3. You have access to the Trailhead Employer Portal. This is amazing. This is so unique to this program and really unique to our specific partnership with Salesforce that they've provided this service for you. There's up to 250 employers on the portal at any time. Yes, including UK-based companies and roles. We have confirmed that. And this portal allows you to directly schedule interviews with the employers of your choice, but just by clicking a button. So you see a position of interest, you see it's in a location of interest, you read the job description, think it could be a good fit. All you have to do is click sign up. That's it. That's the process of Salesforce auto interviews. And then of course, step 4, very important for the interview process, is that you always have to follow up with a thank you note, and your career success coach can help you write that. Before I move on to the next section, are there any questions about auto interviews that are outstanding right now? Anything that's unclear? I'm taking a look at live chat. Feel free to pop it in there. No, it looks like no questions. I hope everyone's really excited about this concept because it is extremely unique to this program, right? Automatic interviews without having to go through the job search. It's definitely something I hope everyone takes advantage of. All right, well, it seems like no questions, so let's move on to the next section, moving right along. Is everyone with me? Is everyone awake?
Yep.
Yes, good. All right.
Yeah, we're here.
You know, the thing is, we've not experienced that before, so it's a bit difficult to start asking questions about it. So that's why, nobody's really saying anything. It's quite amazing, to be honest. So
I appreciate that. Thanks for popping in there. And again, we're always in a live chat. Feel free to pop in your favorite meme, GIF, your favorite emoji, whatever it may be. If you couldn't tell already, we're a pretty chatty group. All right, so what happens next when it comes to our professional development team? As Andrew mentioned, you can keep a close eye on Slack. If you have any questions, we will be monitoring it over the next 8 weeks. So definitely, if you have any career-related questions, you can ask us there. Networking is a really good place. And starting in week 8, we'll create a new channel called #careerdevelopment, where we'll post all of our information and topics and things like that. And again, starting in week 8, we'll introduce you to your CSCs, your career success coaches, and we'll also start a professional development programming. So I know it's a little bit, it seems far advanced in the future, but just to give you a little preview of what's to come coming up next. And now let's talk about one of my favorite topics to talk about, imposter syndrome. Does anyone know what this is? Is anyone familiar with this term? I'm going to look over in the live chat. I see someone's typing. Is this a term anyone's ever heard before? Yes, good. Familiar. Some no, great, that's fine. Yes. Feeling you don't belong.
Doesn't sound great.
Yeah, it looks a little bit, so it's a pretty mixed group. It's when you think you're an imposter. Yes, John, that is the very literal definition. That's right. All right, let's dive into the slides and let's talk about it a little bit more, because this is a really important topic as you begin something new, anything new at all. So we're going to talk about counteracting imposter syndrome right now. So let's just put it out on the table. Taking on new challenges can be intimidating, and this can lead to some pretty unhelpful thought patterns. For example, I'll never be able to keep up, or I'm only here because of luck. I'm feeling intimidated. I'm just going to keep quiet. They must have made a mistake when they were admitting me. I don't know what I'm doing here. Or everyone else here probably knows so much more than me. Can anyone relate to any of these thoughts at this point in the program?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. I'm getting some yeses. Yep. Some live yeses.
Yes.
Yes. I see some live chat, some verbal. Awesome. I promise if you are definitely not alone. So that's the most important thing to realize, is this is almost a universal experience when you're starting something new. And I want to actually bring up a question that was posted in Extra Help that I noticed this morning. Someone had said, one of the sections that I was doing said it should take 15 minutes, but it actually took me an hour, right? What are some thoughts that might be going along with that? Oh my gosh, I am not picking this up quickly enough, or I'm not meeting the expectations of the course, or am I going to be able to get through this? How much time is this actually going to take, right? The question itself seems like a pretty neutral question, but there might be some feelings behind it that are causing some anxiety or some concern. So let's move on to the next slide. So step one, you want to identify when it's happening. And here are some clues that you might be feeling some imposter syndrome. The first is feelings of self-doubt. I'm not sure I can do this. I'm not sure I'm going to make it through. I just don't know if I can handle it. Internalizing failure and externalizing success. And what this means is that if you take, let's say, one of the quizzes at the end of a module and you don't do well, you might say, oh, I failed that because I'm not smart enough, or I'm not paying enough attention, or I'm just not getting it. On the other hand, you might be externalizing success. If you pass one of those quizzes, you might think, oh, I just got lucky that time. You're not giving yourself the credit for the success that you deserve, but you're giving yourself too much credit for anything that doesn't go right. So that is one thing that you might be able to identify when it's happening. Worrying about the judgment of others. This might look like being afraid to raise your hand and ask a question because you might think it's a stupid question, or people are going to judge you for not knowing the answer. Or tendencies towards perfectionism, not wanting to move forward with something or trust yourself to take a guess because you can only feel confident to move forward if you know you're 100% correct. And finally, just inclination to keep quiet due to fear of being wrong. I'm not going to engage. I'm not going to ask questions. I'm not going to volunteer because it's not worth it to me. Because if I'm wrong, I'm going to feel really badly about myself. Okay, so step one is identifying when it happens, and those might be some clues that you're experiencing some imposter syndrome. Step two, you want to actually step back. Okay, so if you're noticing that you're feeling kind of impostery, I like to say impostery as an adjective. I know it's not a real word, but sometimes you wake up in the morning and you're just like, I'm feeling very impostery today. You want to examine the scenario. So first of all, what's happening around you when these feelings arise? Is it when you're doing a self-led module? Is it when you're in live class? Is it when you're in your study group and you feel like, this is a small group environment, there's lots of eyes on me? So what's happening around you when these feelings arise? And do you have a common trigger? Is it, test taking? Is it feeling like you're on the spot and have to answer questions really quickly? Right? So you want to examine the scenario to just be able to identify how can you maybe get ahead of it or get in front of it to notice this is happening and that you're not really feeling like you can't make it, but you're just feeling a little bit impostery. And you always want to ask, how do you think someone outside of yourself would perceive the situation? If you're being really hard on yourself and thinking, I'm never going to make it through, this is taking too much time, I'm not passing these exams, how do you think someone outside of this might see that? They might say, well, you're just starting, you're learning something new. This is a brand new way of learning that you're not used to, right? So try to give yourself a little bit of grace when it comes to some of those thoughts. And then we move on to step 3. We need to address it, okay? So first of all, assess if your expectations are realistic. You are likely not going to get 100% on every quiz throughout this entire course, okay? That's normal, that's realistic. So if your bar is set extremely high towards a perfectionistic place, try to give yourself a little bit of time to step back, take a breath, and make room for error and mistakes. Definitely recognize and acknowledge when it's happening. As I said, sometimes you wake up and you're just feeling kind of impostery that day. It's okay, just name it, right? Name it, acknowledge it, and try to let it go rather than letting it completely derail your day. Identify tools that have helped you work through this in the past. So think about other times that you've been new. Think about your first 2 weeks at Amazon. I bet that was probably a little bit intimidating. You had no idea what was going on. It was really busy. There were a lot of new people, a lot of expectations. How did you get through that? How did you get to this point? How did you get to this course, right? What do you have internally within yourself that helps you stay strong as you go through these transitions? And then think about, what evidence do you have for these feelings to be true? Probably not much. So someone I saw wrote in the live chat, well, didn't we all take a test to be here? Yeah, you did all take a test to be here. So if you're thinking, I'm not good enough, I don't belong, everyone else probably knows more than me, well, the evidence actually does not support that, because you took the same test as everyone else to get here and you were offered acceptance the same way as everyone else was. And then finally, we recommend calling in your supporters. We all have those people in our lives that boost us up. It could be family, it could be friends, it could be your trainer, it could be your career success coach. Whomever it is, it's really important when you're going through something that is challenging to have those people in your life that can really give you a boost. So just for the next minute or two, I'm going to give everyone just a few minutes to think. Who are your supporters? And this is what we call your social capital. When it comes to getting through challenges and having support when you really need it, who are you going to rely on as you go through this program when you are feeling impostery, when you are feeling like, I'm not sure if I can do this, or I'm not sure if I belong here? Who are you going to reach out to? I'm going to give you a few minutes to think this over, and let's talk about it in the live chat. Your career coach, awesome. Yes, I love that, Andrew. Who are your supporters when things are hard and when you have awesome news to share? Who's in your corner? Who's going to help you through this program? Your family, awesome. Yeah, people who really believe in you and are invested in your success. Thanks, Paul. Your trainer for sure. Your wife, I love that. Your partners, your family, your parents who want to see this amazing growth for you. Those who are confident in you. Your partner, friend, fiance in one person. Oh, I love that, Zoltan. Yeah, your course mates, exactly. Thanks, Debo. Everyone here is going through the exact same thing that you are, and you are here to support each other. That's an important part and a huge value here at Correlation One, is that this is not a competition. This is a community of people who want to see each other win and are here to boost each other up. And you are all going to embody that as you go through this program. Yeah, so people that you work with at Amazon, people who are just excited to see what you can do. I love that. Your manager. Yeah, so we can start to prepare. Pavel, that is so, I love that mentality, right? That's awesome. That's great. All right, thanks everyone for sharing. It looks like there is a good amount of social capital here. So yes, your family, your friends, your partners, your parents, your coworkers, your career coaches, your trainers, your C1 staff. We're all a part of your social capital, and we're all here to support you and see you win and get through this program. So make sure that you remember that when you're going through those challenging times. All right, let's move on to the next slide. So just remember, everyone here earned their spot. We'll all be learning and growing together. Everyone is a beginner at something. You cannot be both new and expert. Give yourself space. I'm going to say that one more time. You cannot be both new and expert. If you are learning something for the first time, the pressure to get everything right, to know every answer, to not mess up, is not going to support you. Give yourself that space to say, I'm new, I'm learning, this is unfamiliar. Okay, that mentality is going to help you. And of course, remember your instructors, your trainers, your career success coaches, your C1 staff are here to help you and support you every single step of the way if you need it. So let's move on to do a quick exercise. I know the professional development team loves a good exercise. You'll get used to that with us. We're going to give you a couple of minutes to step back and think. So I'm going to give everyone about 5 minutes to work through this exercise. And the first thing I want you to do is make a list of 3 possible imposter syndrome pitfalls that you think you might encounter. So some examples: just feeling technically overwhelmed with a course, or I'm not sure I'm going to fit in with the people in my study team, or I don't have a lot of real world office-based work experience. I think that's going to work against me. What are some things that you are concerned about that might trigger some imposter syndrome feelings for you? And then the next thing I want you to do is think about a list of all the things that you do well. So these could be technical or academic skills. These could be personality traits that have served you well in the past. For example, resilience, not afraid to ask questions, ambition, working well with others, enjoying challenges, whatever it may be. And then the last thing I want you to think about are just some positive things that others have told you about yourself. What is some feedback that you've gotten in your career? Maybe that you're a great teammate, or you're a strong leader, or you're just a really curious person who always wants to learn more. What are some things that people have said to you about yourself that have really stuck with you? So we're going to give about 5 minutes to work through these questions. And then if anyone feels comfortable, I would love for you to share in the live chat, either some of your pitfalls or some of the things that you're going to rely on when it comes to counteracting those possible imposter syndrome pitfalls. So with that in mind, we're going to be quiet and let you think. And just a reminder, I see some Zoom chats coming in. If we could push everything as much as possible into the Slack chat so everyone can see and learn from each other, that would be great. Thank you. All right, I'll give you about 1 more minute to think, and feel free to share anything else in the live chat, either possible pitfalls or a list of things that make you feel more confident and that you know that you do well. All right, I'm going to read some of these out loud because I have to. First of all, just thank you all so much for your vulnerability here and for sharing this with the rest of the group. I promise you, though it may seem like only a small number of people are actually writing, the people who are sitting in the background and reading this are feeling really validated. So thank you for being so brave and for offering to share. But it sounds like some of the concerns that people are having are just worried and nervous about having the right knowledge, the unknown of the future, fear of judgment, or feeling overwhelmed by just not understanding what's happening or what's going on, feeling like you're too old to start a new career, downplaying your own success, perfectionism, just doubting yourself and your ability, worried that there's not a better job on the other end, the technology and feeling intimidated by that, again, scared of the unknown, just worried about the time. Is 7 weeks enough to really learn everything I need to learn to get through this course? I don't know if I have enough experience. I'm worried about judgment, fear of failure. It seems to be such a common theme. Who can I trust? Who can I trust in my environment? Who can I share my ideas with? I'm overwhelmed by the workload. Is there going to be enough time to complete everything and prepare for the certification exam? Fear of failing, right? And ambition itself. That's very interesting. Thanks for sharing that. I'm not the most computer savvy. I can be a bit slow. This may take some time to learn. Yeah, time, workload, time and workload. Absolutely. Trying to do good work for everyone else, putting a lot of pressure to not let other people down, wanting to know too much from the beginning. Fear of missing deadlines. Yes. My skills are not what's required for the hiring economy. Oh my gosh, absolutely. Yes, yes, yes. All right, now let's look at the other side, right? What are some things that you feel really confident about, that you feel excited about, that you know you can pull upon when you're having those moments of feeling impostery? Let's see. I'm going to read some of these out loud. When I'm presented with a task and I understand what I need to do, I'll get on with it and I'll do it. I love that mentality. I'm good at presenting myself in front of people. I have management skills. So I'm not afraid to ask for help and take ownership of my actions. Wow, that's amazing. I'm a strategic thinker and planner. I know how to adapt and leverage talent. That's going to serve you so well. Passionate about continuous improvement for both internal and external customers. It sounds like someone's already preparing for the interview already. Amazing. Let's see. A positive mindset and a desire to succeed. Thanks, John, for sharing that. Deba says the positives are that I know I've done so many things really well before now. Yes, use your history to launch you and motivate you as you move on to this next phase. Let's see. Good skills in Microsoft, awesome. That's helpful. Typing, yes, that will certainly help you move quickly. Great. Once I understand something, I can usually remember it for future reference. Amazing skill. That's awesome, Martin. Always learning. Let's see. Smart, intelligent, hardworking, adaptable. That's huge. If I want something, nothing stops me. Ah, amazing. All right, I'm going to stop reading these. You can all read them yourselves. But again, Thank you, thank you, thank you for sharing. And please remember, when it gets difficult, when you're feeling impostery, when you're not sure if you can make it through, of course, connect with your why, as Ryan and Lucia mentioned, but also connect with your how, right? The examples that you're sharing right now are how you've made it through in the past and how you'll make it through now. Know that this is intrinsic, this is within you, and this is something that you absolutely can take on. So thank you for your attention for this portion of our session. And I'm going to hand it over to Megan to finish out our professional development workshop, talking a little bit more about program success. Thanks, Megan.
Thanks, Rachel. And thank you all again for just the amazing participation on that. It's not easy to talk about things that are really deep rooted in some of our insecurities, but it's so important to kind of uncover those things so you can make sure you're putting the best foot forward for this program. So we know that that was pretty deep, right? But there is success, right? We all have doubts, but there's a lot that's available to you to make sure that you're successful. I'm not a statistics person, but I can guarantee you, if you were to survey the top 100 most successful people in the world, that probably all 100 have failed at some point in their life, right? A lot of you mentioned this fear of failure that's really stopping you from progressing, right? That's normal. We've all failed at some point, even the most successful people in the world. But I can also assure you that those people didn't let that stop them from their pursuit, right? Rachel just mentioned someone had said, you know, if you really have your eye on something, you're not going to stop until you get that. I think that that's a really great mindset going into this program and knowing that, you know, you're not going to be perfect at everything. There's going to be moments where you might falter, but it's all about what you do after that matters. So let's talk about what to do, right? How are we going to make sure that we're successful in this program and that all of you are aiming to achieve your goals? So of course there are pitfalls, right? That's just the reality. Again, perfectionism is actually a sign of imposter syndrome. That is something I struggle with myself, is thinking that I need to do everything perfect. And to be honest, that is setting you up for failure, right? Or that fear of failure and really stopping you from trying and putting in your best effort. So you're not going to be, you're not going to hold it together this entire program. We don't expect you to. Like this little boy here, sometimes it's going to hit you and you're going to have to just let it out. You're going to have to acknowledge that, we can't always hold it together all the time. And that is 100% okay. But there are definitely ways that you can get to a point where you can be prepared for these things and really set yourself up for success. So let's talk about the pitfalls, and then let's talk about how we can overcome those things too. So 3 common pitfalls. The first one is asking for help. It's so important to be able to identify when you need help, when things feel overwhelming, when you feel like you have too much stuff on your plate and it's overwhelming you to a point where you just don't want to do any of it, right? And that's counterproductive. So it's super important, right, to make sure that you have that list of supporters. We had you go through that in the social capital exercise. Keep those people close to you and express to them, you're approaching this program and you might need to lean on some of them for help because it's going to be challenging. The reason why it's really hard to ask for help is we don't want to feel like we're a burden. We don't want to feel like people are being put out because they need to help us. It's also, if you're someone who's a control freak and wants to remain in control, it's very difficult to be able to ask for help and kind of let go of the control. Of course, we don't want to be seen as weak. We don't want people to think that we're not capable. But those are all the stories that we're telling ourselves, and that's not true. You don't only ask for help because you can't do it. You can ask for help because there's just too much to do, right? So and we'll get into kind of shaping some of these, but, and then, yeah, you're making assumptions possibly about the results. You're thinking maybe this person won't help me. They're too busy. You know, they don't know how to help. So really making assumptions about what could happen from asking for help. So how can we reframe this, right? A lot of this is changing your mindset. The stories that we tell cannot be helpful and useful, and it can really hold us back from asking for help. So one is that generally people want to help. People truly want to be invested, and honestly, it makes people feel good when they can help others do better. Generally, you know, as long as you're making it easy and clear, your request is very clear to them. If they can help you, they will. So avoid being vague. Make sure that you tried it, right? Don't give it to the other person to figure out completely on their own. Give them the right materials. Make sure that they know exactly how to help you. And you're not leaving it just up to them to do it on their own. Of course, being gracious for people's time, thanking people if they do help you. This will all just make them want to continue to help you in the future. So be gracious when people are offering that help. Stop striving for perfectionism and really leaning into your areas of growth. Again, you're not going to be perfect at all of this. This is new to all of you. And with new things come challenges. And so it's really important to be able to share what you're being challenged with and being able to ask folks for that help. Stop assuming that people are going to say no, but be okay even if they do. They're not probably the only person who can help you. Identify who maybe that second person that you could ask is. Obviously, of course, be resourceful as well. There's a lot of opportunity to use the internet these days to also access help. But it's okay if people can't, because that no is not necessarily always a rejection. It could really mean that they can't help you right now. They have their own workload, or maybe they don't know either. Maybe they don't have that information. So don't make assumptions, but don't allow that to stop, right? The no, don't let that stop you from asking, because if you don't ask, then you will never receive the help that you need and ultimately the growth that you're looking for from this program. So please ask and make sure that you're preparing folks to be able to help you in the best way that they can. Next, the second pitfall, I saw this as well, is time, right? We all could use more time in our life, I'm sure. But we only have so much of it, right? So effective time management is really important, particularly right when Andrew was showing earlier, all of the balls that we're juggling in our lives. Honestly, when you have all of that happening, it's really easy to drop one of them, right? So the signs of poor time management looks like attempting to do all of those things at once, right? You have too many balls in the air, one's bound to fall. Maybe you're procrastinating tasks that you really don't want to do. You're just pushing them to the back burner, but eventually that's going to sneak up on you. Not using an organization tool or a calendar to manage your tasks. That is something now with the digital age we're in, it's very easy to find a tool that can help remind you when your deadlines are and what you need to do in order to meet those deadlines timely. Failing to limit distractions. There's so many distractions in the world that we live in. Phones are a very common distraction. Family, right? If you have kids, other distractions potentially for you to not be able to focus on one task at hand. So failing to do that and limiting those distractions can make it even harder to accomplish those tasks, of course. And then not asking for help, right? Back to the first pitfall, or refusing to get help, right? If people are offering it to you, you're refusing it because you just want to stay in control, right? So these are all signs of poor time management. What are some signs of good time management? Having a schedule or a routine and sticking to it. This is very helpful to make sure that you can plan your time strategically to make sure that you do have enough time in your day to get your tasks done. Designating that specific time, right, for those specific tasks, making sure that you're not, trying to multitask everything at the very end of your day, because that's just going to cause you a lot of stress and distress. Really, like I said, focusing on one task at a time, trying to limit your distractions as much as possible. I'm not telling you to get rid of your kids. I know that you're not going to get rid of your kids or your animals or things around you, but being able to identify what's really important, what task, how can you possibly limit as many of those distractions as possible? Can you, call upon a friend or a family member to help with your kids just for an hour, right? So you can go to a cafe or, the library and really have that undistracted time. Use a calendar and an agenda. I love Google Calendar. I use it all the time for my task management. It sends reminders when things are approaching different deadlines for me. And so it really will allow you to be accountable and to continue to utilize that routine that you're planning for. And then we've already done this in the social capital exercise, but really identifying your community and how maybe those people can help. If you're planning out your day using something like a calendar and you notice that with all of your tasks, you're about to have like a 6 a.m. to a 10 p.m. day, what within that can you delegate? Who in your community maybe can help you with some of those items, maybe some personal errands, right? Being able to identify that early is very helpful for the folks that you might be asking for help from, so that they can also do their best to help you as well, right? You're trying to allow people to help you the best that they can. And if you're asking them, within a 2-hour notice, that's going to lessen the plausibility that they will be able to help you. So again, staying organized and really thinking strategically about what tasks are in front of you and what is manageable for you within that day. And who can you help? Who can you ask for help when it does feel overwhelming? All right. And the next, this is probably a big one for a lot of you as you're approaching, this certification and exam that is kind of looming over you as you go through this training course. The exam is not going to go away. And we know that, nervousness for exams is very common, and that is totally normal. But you could also experience extreme distress over it, right? And that is really what test anxiety is. So what does that look like? It looks like, profusely sweating, you're shaking, you feel like your heart might pop out of your chest. You can't really quench your thirst. Your mouth is just super dry. Maybe you feel actually sick to your stomach, or lightheaded, like you might faint. Those are physical common symptoms of test anxiety or exam anxiety. Some behavioral qualities that might happen is that you just avoid tests altogether. You never sign up for the certification exam because you're terrified of it. Difficult concentrating, right? When you're studying, you're having a really hard time. Your mind is wandering and you're maybe having those really negative thought patterns. And yeah, that negative self-talk that you might be experiencing. And then there's emotional things too, right? Like depression, maybe you're fatigued, you have really low self-esteem, or you're just feeling really hopeless. And what are the causes of this, right? There's causes to all of it. First is fear of failure. A lot of you express that when you're talking about that imposter syndrome, what that feels like for you. And again, fear of failure is because maybe there was something in your past, a test that you took that you maybe failed, and you were unable to normalize that, and you felt a lot of shame because of it. Or maybe you were just unprepared, right? You didn't feel like you were ready to take that exam. And so it's causing a lot of distress for you. So how can we counteract exam anxiety? So first is finding good study habits so that you can feel prepared for the exam. You're not going to pass this exam if you're not putting in these study hours. And so really making sure that you are managing your time in a way that's going to help you feel really prepared for this exam. Don't forget to take care of yourself. I think this is something that's very common, is not, properly sleeping or eating or drinking water, or even like continuing on doing some of your favorite hobbies. Make time for that in your schedule, and allow, and make sure you have some reminders or people who can hold you accountable to that. But when we're feeling anxiety, we tend to really forget to take care of ourselves. And honestly, that's not helping counteract the anxiety at all. It's actually contributing more to it. And then finding those close supporters, your social capital, people who can give you a pep talk, people who just know how to calm you and make you feel good, or people that you will feel safe with, venting or really, having a real conversation about those feelings or those test anxiety feelings that you're having. And then find a relaxation method. This is really important for anxiety, is being able to, one, identify that it's happening, but two, being able to identify ways that you can kind of relax your nervous system. A lot of common ones for people are like breathing exercises, maybe meditation, time in nature, getting fresh air on a walk, or even listening to music and kind of dancing out some of those jitters. But obviously this is not comprehensive. And I hope that you all, have some idea of maybe what could relax you. And if you don't, I do recommend trying some of these and seeing if it could work for you. All right, so those are the 3 common pitfalls and some ways you can counteract them. And I would love to spend some time allowing you all to really identify what is going to be your program success strategy. When you're up against some of these different feelings or these different pitfalls, how are you going to counteract those? How are you going to prepare yourself to be ready for this program? So here are some questions that I would love for all of you to take some time. I believe we have at least 10 minutes. So, but we want to spend time with questions. So maybe we'll give you, 6 minutes to think about these questions, respond to them, and if you feel comfortable sharing them with us. So the first one here is, what are some areas in this course that you maybe anticipate you're going to need help with? And then taking that a step further, who are you going to ask for help? And then who maybe is a second point of contact that you would ask for help if they're unable to? What tool or method will you use to stay organized? What are your most common distractions and how will you limit them? And then lastly, what methods help you relax when you're experiencing nerves or stress? And just a reminder, definitely share with us in the live chat on Slack if you feel comfortable, but I'm going to give you, about 5 minutes to work on that. There's some really great responses so far. Thank you all. Just one more minute to get them in. Sorry, I'm getting lost in all these responses. They're so good. A lot of common distractions. A lot of people say their phones, social media, YouTube tend to be some common distractions. Kids, I saw a lot of kids here, which is more challenging to limit, right? But there are ways, asking for help, asking for family to maybe take them off your hands for some time. Hiring a babysitter. I saw somebody said that they send their kids to school or nursery, right? How can you maximize the time that maybe they're not there on your hip? A lot of really amazing relaxation methods. I saw somebody said biking, which I love biking too. So that one stood out to me. Breathing, mindfulness, getting out and about, getting some fresh air. Yeah, a lot of people referring to like calendar apps to help you stay organized, using some type of to-do list system. Yeah, Google Calendar, lots of that. These have all been really great to read. I hope that you've written these somewhere else other than just this live chat, because it will eventually disappear as more of these classes go forth. So if you haven't, definitely copy and paste this stuff somewhere where you can keep it. When you're feeling overwhelmed or you're feeling like any of this stuff might be coming back to you, these feelings of doubt, fear, come back to your success strategy. Identify, am I actually doing the things that I set for myself? Am I actually taking time to breathe and to relax? Am I having that bike ride that's really important for my mental health? Save this somewhere and refer back to it in those times where you feel like you need just a little bit of extra boost. But I hope that this was helpful in helping you all kind of identify how you can be prepared and find ways to be successful in this course, even when it feels like it's too hard. So I hope that that was helpful. All right. Yeah, that's it.
That's it. Thank you so much, Megan. Thank you so much, Andrew. Mostly thank you so much to all of you for your active participation in this session. We try to make these pretty engaging. That we find that's more interesting for us and hopefully more interesting for you. And hopefully this is really kind of just setting you off on the right foot as you embark upon the rest of this program. We can't wait to see you on the back end after you've gone through your Trailhead virtual boot camp. But we've reserved the last 5 minutes just for any questions you might have for us about anything we talked about today, anything that we haven't talked about today that might be on your mind related to professional development, related to the job search, related to the support we'll be offering you, program success, imposter syndrome, anything on your mind that we can help you with.
I do have a question.
Sure.
My question is, at what week can we say that we are ready if we want to take the exam?
Good question. Lucia, I'm going to pass that one back to you.
I'm happy to jump in here too.
Oh, thanks, John.
Was that Kelvin?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Kelvin, great question. Basically, practically, you're going to take the exam after you finish the Trailhead Virtual Bootcamp course, and that'll be week 7 of the class. You can take it any time, but the fact is you won't want to take it until you've actually finished the entire TVB content. And we reserve the last 3 weeks of the class, 7 through 10, to support you. Your trainers will be there to coach you through the exam process. So you're really going to start to focus in on the exam around week 7.
Thank you.
I have a question. Hi, my name is Fazlur. In the Trailhead Virtual Bootcamp, on the app, it's showing a couple of dates. Which date we should go? Because there's some October to November date, there's a January, and then there's a September 12th to October 21st is available. I'm just a bit confused which date I should register it, because Correlation 1 is asking us to register ourselves. So yeah,
so I'm also happy to hop in there. Was that Basler?
Yes,
right?
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Good question. Not sure what the root issue is there. The dates and times of the course were shared by Lucia in official announcements. There's a PDF with all the dates and times. You can check your class options against that. But we're actually gonna, after this PD session is over, we'll walk through together how to set up your TVB account, your Trailhead Virtual Bootcamp account. And hopefully that kind of clarifies things too. So not sure your specific.
Right now I'm from morning I've been trying to register it with the code that you, Lucia, send us, but obviously it's the different dates, 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. and there is one is 2 to 3:30 p.m. So there's options there. So which one we should choose? Because obviously the link she sent it, I'm trying to see obviously which one I missed it, because there was a PDF file she sent it. I can see, but I'm just trying to double check if you can bear with me.
Yeah, so Buzzler, let's do this. John is actually going to walk through momentarily in just a few minutes the step-by-step process to sign up. I think are we going to use the UK one, John? So you'll see the exact one you need, Buzzler. If you still have questions after that,
sure.
It doesn't, right? So great point. It doesn't say UK. It does not say UK. It just has a specific time for your cohort. If you still have questions after that, your trainer is going to be the best person to support here. So you want to reach out to Fong, and if you make an appointment with him, he can support you. Does that help? No. So if you still have questions after today, Fong is the person you want to check in with.
Yeah, no, I sent a message already, but I'm just thought that when you guys are in there, so I thought that okay, let me just pop in that in my mind. So what is it? Okay, cool.
Yeah, thanks, Buzzler. Great question.
Yeah. So Lucia, sorry, Lucia, you can hear me? I know that you are asking me the questions, but our date is Monday 29th. We will have our virtual bootcamp, but from the registration it is showing 12. So I will have the clarification from.
Thanks, Bowser. I just wanted to clarify. So John is literally in about 1 minute going to walk you through this entire process. So hopefully that will answer a lot of the questions.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, but I just wanted to close out our session here before we make that transition. Just again, thank you for your time and attention today.
Thank you.
We know this program will be difficult, but hopefully really rewarding in the end. And we can't wait to see you on the other side and to begin our professional development work together. So thank you so much for your time and attention today. And I'll pass it over to John now.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Rachel. Thanks, Megan. Thanks, Andrew. Thanks, everyone, for listening. That was such a great session. I love the interaction. The PD team always does such a great job, and they're going to be such a help throughout y'all's time in the course. We have 15 minutes left. I'm hoping we can get to everything. I think we can. We're going to set up your Trailhead Virtual Bootcamp account now. And we do this together because like Bosler has said, sometimes there are issues, sometimes there's confusion. We're going to outline the process now because it's really important. You have to set up your account before Friday, or else you really won't be able to participate in the class. The first class starts Monday and you can't set it up after Friday. So we'll hop right in here. I'm actually going to follow the exact instructions that we've provided you so that you can basically just see step by step how this process works. It's not that hard to do. You can follow along with me today right now, or if you're traveling or on your cell phone or busy or something, you can look at the recording, do this on your own time tonight or tomorrow. Yeah, you should be able to figure this out, and we're here to help you. So gonna just start off, guys. Have folks set up your Trailhead Virtual Bootcamp account yet? I'm posting in live chat here. Respond with one of these emojis to this post if you can. There's no wrong answer. Just want to see where people are. Okay, wow, a lot of yeses. That's awesome. Okay, I'm not sure is fine. Not yet, that's good. Vikas, don't worry. Wow, okay guys, a lot of people have. Awesome. Okay, cool. All right, guys, so if you have set it up, you can still watch this. It's good to confirm that you've set it up the right way. And if you haven't, obviously this is going to be really helpful. So just to start, I'm going to share my screen and I'll actually just walk through this process with you sort of step by step. So starting off, let's think about like what we're doing here. Spend 2 minutes. We're going to start with our why, like we've talked about. Why do you need a Trailhead Virtual Bootcamp account? Because Trailhead Virtual Bootcamp is the learning portal for the course. You'll use it especially starting this coming week for the next 6 weeks after that. And the relationship that we have with Salesforce allows us to teach live lectures with their team on this account. So you're going to do a lot of your learning on the Trailhead Virtual Bootcamp platform. And then the Slack is sort of like your class community. When do you need to set it up? You got to set it up by Friday at noon, but let's set it up today just so you can be sure. How do you set it up? We're going to talk about that now. And then what if you still have questions? This part at the bottom, this is really important. Don't give up. We're here to help, and we've provided instructions. Tango is the instruction step-by-step guide we use called Tango. And then if that doesn't help you, we also love to help. So you can ask an extra help. That's your first place you can go. A member of our team will be there to support. And if not, you can book office hours with your trainers. Some of your trainers are even on this call with you today. And they'll be available in your Slack if you want to schedule time with them sometime in the next couple days. So, all right, let's get a lay of the land here. I've got my live chat open. That's all of you. And I'm also going to open up now a few things. So if we go to official announcements, I'm going to pause so that folks can follow along. Okay, 1 second. My chat is in the way here. Okay, so if we go to official announcements here, this is a really important post, guys. This is Eastern time here, but you'll see it in yours. It's the most recent long post in official announcements from Lucia. It explains how we sign up. The first is a link to your unique sign up link. This is going to be important. And then your instruction guide is Tango right here. And that's what I have open here. This is the Tango step-by-step guide on my left-hand side here. Okay. If you scroll through it, it's about 25 steps. to set things up. I'm going to use it step by step with you now. And then I also have my email address, my Gmail, that I'm going to use to sign up right here. You should use, when you sign up, the email you use to apply to the program with. That's important. And then we have our TVB password. This will also be important. This is what allows us to enroll on TVB for free. It normally costs several £100 to enroll. This password lets you sign it for free. So
okay, I have a question. Sorry to pose you.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. I have done the registration by myself earlier, like Trailhead, and I didn't put the code, and I'm trying to do it, but it's not letting me do it. What shall I do?
Why don't we walk through it now? Is that Rory? Let's walk through it now. And if you start seeing problems, you can ask an extra help and we'll troubleshoot your individual issues just for you. Does that work? Not sure if that was Rory or someone else. Whoever asked that, let's walk through as a team now, and we'll troubleshoot individual problems after class if we can't figure it out. So, okay. So we're in our Tango here. Everyone, you can open this again by using the link right here. It just says here and it's hyperlinked. That's the Tango step-by-step instructions that we use. I've got mine open right here. First step in Tango, click the TVB sign up link in official announcements in your program Slack. The TVB sign up link is here. I'm going to copy the link and I'm going to post it in my browser here. Okay, that's the screen you should see. This one on your right-hand side. That's the opening page to begin building your account. Next, step 2 says in this browser, you will see a Salesforce login page. Click the email icon. This is your easiest way to create an account. I'm going to click my icon here. And then step 3 is, and I'll pause guys after every 4 or 5 steps here for questions on live chat, okay? So just follow along with me and then we'll pause at step 5 here. Step 3, use the email address you used to apply to the training program and you'll click login. So for me, that's this email address here. I'm gonna type it in. I'm John R.M. Benjamin. By the way, that's my name, not Amazon Salesforce1, even though that's the account I log into on Zoom. So this is my email and I click login. They're making me confirm my identity. I'm clicking mountains or hills. This looks like a hill. Verify identity. Now they've sent me a single use code. This is their protection to confirm it's me, okay? So now to grab that code, I'm gonna go to my email inbox, click refresh, and if I just expand this, I've got my code here. This is unique. This will be a unique 6-digit code that you'll get. It won't look like my set of numbers, but you'll get your unique code. And all you do is just copy it, go back to the Salesforce page, click in, paste, and this is the next page you get. So that is taking us all the way to step 6, okay? So I'll stop there. Any basic questions, guys, in Slack that we can stop for? We'll stop for a minute, make sure folks are caught up. Other questions, Rory? Okay, cool. Yeah, Rory, that's a great attitude. Watch this recording, and if it doesn't work for you, we can troubleshoot, but hopefully this recording explains for everyone. What was the password? The password, Kalina, we'll get to the area where you need it. The password, just to show everyone here, this is the important one. It's right here. It's a long string of digits. That's your TVB password. That's what gives you the discount to log in, but we're not there yet.
It's any other password besides that?
You will have a password to log into your account, but this is the password to sign up today. So it's the only really important one that's useful for the whole class.
Right, thank you.
Okay, Boz, you're in your carts. We'll get there shortly. Okay. So then let's keep going here. So we're now at step 6. If you've not made an account with Trailhead before, you'll see the following message. It says, we couldn't find you. That's completely normal. Since this is a new sign up for me, I need to sign up now. So I click sign up. And now it's asking me to create a profile. So this is steps really like 7 through about 14 in your Tango. So we'll go through them now. Enter your name. My name is John Benjamin. You should create a profile URL. The best profile URL to make is just your first and last name combined. Now I've made a profile before, so the right way to then make my URL, because this profile, if I try to make it, will be taken, is to just add a number to the end of that. Okay, so I could add a 1 or 2. For the purposes of today, I'll add a 3. That's my URL, that's my name. So we're going to keep going here. Now we're on step 10, okay? And this is some more information about ourselves. For company name, NA is fine. You don't need to say Amazon or correlation 1. We just use NA. Role name, student works. We tend to use student. Relationship to Salesforce, non-customer / prospect. And then you guys are based in the United Kingdom. You click United Kingdom. And that's fills in this area. This will be the same for everyone here. You don't need to input your job title. Then you check your box to make sure you agree to their terms. And then you click done. So now we're in an important area, and I'll walk through this in a second, but now this has taken us all the way to step 15. Next step is to get to our specific Trailhead class, but I'm going to stop there because I know we just covered a lot of ground. What questions, guys, do you have? I've got the live chat open here on the left side. Anything? Hopefully this is working, guys.
It's worth noting, John, that if for those of you who have already created Trailhead accounts, that's wonderful, that's fantastic. Now John is going to review what you need to do once you are logged into your Trailhead account. So for those of you that are asking extra help in live chat, wonderful. If you have a Trailhead account, these are the instructions that you need, what John is going to cover now.
Yeah, great point, Lucia. Mihai, that screenshot's useful. Mihai, I think we'll have to troubleshoot this on the side. That's definitely a fixable issue, but we should talk one-on-one on extra help. Throughout this, guys, don't get discouraged. We're actually almost there. And I know that some of this looks complicated, but once you're set up for good. So let's keep going here. All right. So now I'm going to expand this so you can see what it looks like. Okay. So this is where I am after step 16. I'm on step 16 in the Tango instructions. If you followed along with these step-by-steps that we've just been covering, your page should look like this, okay? This is your cart. This is where you use the password that we mentioned to sign up for the class, our specific class, through TVB. So the key things here, we'll just take them in order, and this is all in the Tango if you ever need to go back to it. You can say, I understand and accept the cancellation policy. This is being listed right now as $450 USD. The password allows you to waive that entire fee. So I'm going to go into official announcements where you see the key. That's the place where you can copy the code. I copy the whole string of text from PW all the way to the last number. Then I click enter promo code. I paste it here, full thing. I click apply. And just like that, the whole fee has been removed. This allows you obviously to enroll in our class for free. Now, on the right-hand side, we need to make sure that our attendee info is correct. For select an item, it should be all classes in cart. Full name is locked in. I already input that. That's my full name. Company I've already input to be NA. Job title I can leave blank. Good old UK, that's my country of residence. You guys can copy that. Email, make sure it's your right email. Again, it should be the email you applied with. Leave the phone number blank. If you have a disability request, you can add that. Most folks will likely leave this blank. And then you can say that you want to receive communications, just because sometimes it's helpful. You can always cancel later. Once that's all set, so the key things to check here are, number one, it's me in the top right corner. Number two, I check the box here. Number three, no charge. And number four, my attendee info looks all good. Now I click submit. And that's the last step. It says, thank you for your purchase. I've got an order number. I've got some details about the class and the dates. I've got some details about me. Got some billing info here, and that's it. One thing to note is this takes you all the way. If we go back to the Tango here, we've just covered all of these steps, 15, 16, 17, all the way. We've done all of this. We've input our code. Fee has been waived. We've put in our attendee info. We've done all of this. And actually, we're all the way at step 26. Okay, so that's the confirmation page we should all be seeing. Your last step, let your trainer know, your specific trainer, not your trainer pair, your specific trainer. Let them know on Slack that you've gotten to this page. This helps them just keep track of your progress, right? And I have an example message here. Let's say my trainer is Shane. I say, hi, Shane. I just signed up for TVB. And here's my order number. You can just copy and paste your order number in your message. Send that to your trainer. Once you create an account, you can copy your order number exactly from here.
John,
yeah.
Step in. There's one important message that I've been seeing, that they're sending the order number either to the pair or to like the whole class. So it's important that it's a message that it's private to your trainer.
Great point, Alvaro. Yeah, guys, just so we don't overload the Slack or overload your trainer pair, send it to your exact trainer in a private message, right? So just as an example, here's my thing here. Let's say that you know, if Alvaro is my trainer, all I do is in direct messages, put Alvaro here, and I say, hi, Alvaro. I just signed up for TVB. Here's my order number. And that's the order number I just got. That would be the message I would send. Once you've done that, you're all set. You have an account on TVB. You'll get an email confirming, it'll look like this, confirming you signed up, and you're ready for Monday. And you can always access your account via this link.
Hi.
Yeah, of course.
Hi, I've got a quick question. Unfortunately, I've closed the window where it said the order number. So how can I get back to it? Silly question.
Yeah, great question. You should find it actually in your, I think the best solution actually, and I didn't catch the name of who was just speaking, but could you actually screenshot? Oh, hey Mims. Can you actually just screenshot the confirmation email you got like this?
Oh, I should have that, yeah.
Like step 28. So just as an example, I just signed up, and then if I go to my inbox here, I just got a confirmation email here.
Yeah,
and
I've got it.
Awesome. Yeah, Mims, if you could just, this is probably a common problem for folks. If you lose your order number, screenshot this email. It'll be in your email inbox. That'll help your trainer confirm that, yeah, you're all good to go. So
Okay.
Great
Cool.
questions.
Thank you.
Yeah. Other questions and issues? I'll go back to live chat and see what folks are chatting about.
Hi, John, just a quick question. When we log in on TVB, we always had to receive that code, or we need to set up a password at some point?
Yeah, that's a great question. You will not need to use that code again. To log in, we'll spell out those instructions after you've set everything up. But you'll have a standard login process where you don't need to use that code again or go through this process again.
Okay, because I mean, I was doing those exercises last week, well, a couple of days back, and each time I was logging in, I always had to log in using the code to my email address. So now, and I just tried to log in now, and I still ask me for the code.
Yeah, Lucia's responded here.
She's asking about the single sign-on code that you received in your email when you logged in. Not the password for for the discount or to purchase. Is that correct?
We'll outline how to log back into your account. Let's just focus now on creating the account.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, no, Fernando, it's an awesome question, but we'll provide that information shortly here.
Sorry, before you go on, I think that there is a difference between the single code sign-on that we get when we try to log in via the trail mix and the one you are doing now. I think that's where the mix-up is. For the trail mix, I think you get to use the single sign-on code every time, which I think is different from what we have here.